I didn't commit myself to this process for a platonic relationship, nor a teammate. We are not in love.
I take away from Jack's vows. I take away too much from him, actually. Only the part where he said nice things.
I'm pleasantly surprised because out of the 5 final couples, you had 4 couples said yes. Do I think 4 couples should have said yes? No. I think that two of those couples should have said no. I think they should have said no, especially given Jack's vows. Even given Jack's vows, I'm pleasantly surprised, that woman continues to put up with him. But hey, to each their own. Someone has just commented on my Twitter message that apparently Tori's pregnant. Amazing. If he makes her happy, hey, who am I to judge? Anyway, I digress. It's your girl, Valerie. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe, click the like button, turn on the notification bell for when I upload new videos, and definitely leave a comment. In this episode, I'll be reviewing Married at First Sight Australia, Season 11, Episode 36. So it's the continuation of Tori and Jack's final vows. And for me, am I surprised by the response? No. I think Tori and Jack didn't like Tori at the start. I think she wasn't his type. I think he saw her as a challenge. The fact that they said, she was strong, she was independent, she was an alpha female, and he saw it as an opportunity to break her. That's the impression that I got because of how their relationship sort of progressed during the experiment. And so for him, he has never once said anything at all that makes me believe or that makes me understand how he feels about Tori. It has always been the impression that Tori really likes him and is just going along with it just because she likes him and he wants to give it a chance and see if they work out. If they don't, hey, if they do, amazing. Even in his final vows, he spoke about everything that was negative in regards them as a couple, the struggle that they faced fighting the other couple, fighting to save their relationship, and never once said anything about himself and how he felt about Tori. He spoke about how Tori felt about him, but he didn't say anything about how he felt, you've made me become the best version of myself. I've become very fond of you. Yes, at the start, I had no feelings towards you. You were not my type, but I've learned that there's more to a person than a type. He never said any of that. All he did was focus on what Tori saw appealing in him and what she really liked about him, and the fact that, it came across as though he was doing her a favor by staying married with her. It came across as though he was doing a favor by choosing her. And even Tori said, we're fighting against all the other couples to save our relationship, and we've managed to make it. And at the end, after they've both decided to stay together, they say we're a beast couple. And it's like, this is not 2 people hopelessly in love. This is 2 people who struggle bonded. I normally criticize people that use that, but they've trauma bonded, and so because they felt like they've had to defend their relationship from everybody else, the group and the experts and everyone who sort of criticized them, it seems like this is the reason why they've stayed married. In my opinion, it seems like this is the reason why they've stayed married, and they are going to continue to push through just to spite the people who didn't believe in them. That's the impression that I get. They're not staying together. Maybe Tori is hopelessly in love or infatuated with Jack, but Jack didn't give me that impression. He didn't. Because even Tori, when she was asked by the producers that, what did you like about Jack's files? She said, well, I like the good bits and I'll ignore the bad bits. And it's like, this is what you've been doing all along. From the time you entered the experiment and Jack was behaving badly, you've always ignored the red flags and focused on what you thought was what is in your best interest, or what he said that you felt you liked. And sadly, that's not how her relationship works. And I know someone was commenting, when I said, I think if they stay together, it's for financial means. I think so. And I'm going to stand by it 10 toes deep with my chest out. I'm going to fully say that, in the sense that they are likely to get more endorsement deals as a couple. They are likely to get more opportunities as a couple than they would individually. Yes, people might empathize if she starts sort of crying and saying she's the victim, but people have so much disdain and dislike for Jack that the chances of him getting endorsement deals are highly unlikely. Whereas if he and Tori can sort of try and stick it out and say, we were misunderstood during the experiment, then his opportunities of success are way better. This is what I meant. I didn't mean that they're going to be rich, but I said the opportunities that they'll get as a couple are way better than they would if they went individually, because their edits were not amazing at all. Am I the only one who's surprised that Tim and Sarah are still in this experiment? I don't get why they're still there. I think they should have gone home. The moment Sarah cheated, they should have gone home. But it seems the producers have decided to give them this redemption story whereby Sarah has been able to revamp her character. She's been able to make amends and sort of come out as, someone who made a mistake, and then she realized her mistake and dedicated herself to sort of mending bridges with her partner. Because I don't understand why, we're in a better place, we're lovey-dovey, they're kissing, and then it's like, who did Sarah pay? Who did she pay? How much did she pay the producers for them to sort of give her this redemption storyline? Or what did she have to do? Because some people haven't had the arc whereby they've been able to redeem themselves. And so I don't get how Sarah has been allowed to sort of suddenly redeem herself after a cheating scandal when everybody else, Jack included, I'm not a fan of Jack. Jack included, he hasn't been able to redeem himself. And yet Sarah suddenly has been able to redeem herself and is getting this storyline of someone who has made a mistake and has suddenly redeemed herself. They both say they're in a good place. Tim seems okay with it. He seems happy. I'm going to miss you, and they're making out, and it's like, tell the truth. Tell her you're over her, and you were just doing this until the end, and now it's time for you to go home. Because I didn't get when she left and he was standing there and they were showing clips of her and the negative things that she did, the way she was disrespectful to him from the start of their marriage to the cheating scandal and everything else in between. So I don't get how Tim would want to forgive her and want to move on. Yes, they did show the clip from the final dinner party where he said he was developing feelings. And it's like, is he developing feelings, or is he just saying that way he comes across as a forgiving partner, a loving partner who forgave his partner after she cheated on him and was willing to give her a second chance? I don't quite get that. Because Sarah has shown her worst side to him. And so for him to think that the only couple of good days that she's sort of tried to redeem herself, first after she was told off by the experts, and then the second time was when it was revealed that she was cheating, and suddenly he thinks she's a great person. I don't think so. I have a feeling he's going to say no. That's my impression. I have a feeling he's going to say no because he's had enough and it's time for him to move on. I wonder why this episode, we didn't really need 2 episodes. They could have just stood them in a line and just had them one after the other say yes or no, and that's it. Anyway, Jayden and Eden. I think Jayden and Eden got a preferential treatment in this experiment. This is why I was wondering why Mitch's name kept being brought up, or why he kept making an appearance. In the sense that yes, they did tell each other they loved each other at the last dinner party, but we got to see all the other couples' reaction to their wedding video. We didn't get to see that with Jayden and Eden. Yes, they did play clips of the wedding afterwards, but we didn't get to see their reaction. I've always said it, that I think Eden's anxiety is conveniently placed. I'm not saying she doesn't suffer from anxiety, but I think it's conveniently placed because they seemed to be in a very good place, which they would be after saying I love you to one another. But the fact that they didn't show her having any sort of anxiety moments before the final vows doesn't make sense to me, especially if they're saying it's something that's crippling and stops her from doing a lot of things. She was struggling to attend dinner parties because she didn't want to be asked questions. And it's like, make it make sense. I'm not saying that their feelings for one another are not genuine, but I think Eden ran that relationship and Jayden was just coming along for the ride because he had grown feelings for her. So whatever she needed to be comfortable, he was willing to do. They do go home. We don't get to see them meet up with any member of their family to discuss like we did with Tori and Jack, or even with Ridge and Jade. So that to me doesn't make sense. That why are they getting preferential treatment? Even with Jono and Lauren, it wasn't necessary to get them someone to speak to because we all knew they were breaking up anyway after the scandal. And so you get them have their final vows, and I think they were sweet. Don't get me wrong. This is what I was saying, that I wish Jack had said more or less things along the line of what Jayden said. He spoke about himself coming into the experiment. He spoke about his expectations. He spoke about his relationship with Eden and how that had helped him grow. Whereas Jack was talking about Tori and what Tori wanted from this relationship and nothing to do with him or what he expected or what he wanted. Yes, he spoke about the fact that, he had made mistakes and stuff, but still, I was more sort of my heart was warmed by what Jayden said, because it showed that he's someone who's taken time to actually think about what they're going to say, who's taken time to actually put their partner first and make sure that whatever he says or does will not affect her in a negative way. Eden's vows were sweet as well, but I was surprised we didn't see her sort of have a panic attack or anything when Jayden was sort of all over the place. I would have expected someone with anxiety to at least show that she's worried that, you know, he might not say yes. So the idea that she just went along with it and was cool as a cucumber when it was her turn, yes, she had moments where she was anxious and Jayden had to reassure her, but I think her anxiety is conveniently placed. I'm happy that they've stayed together. I always root for love. Whether they're genuine or not, we will see as time goes by. So they both chose to stay together. That's sweet. That's really sweet. I think there is a chance that they might make it, as long as I think once they're out of the experiment and they stop speaking about Jayden's brother, then they will be amazing. Because even Jayden had to say, you know, that we're going to be together. There's no Mitch 2.0. And it's like, why do we keep having to throw Mitch's name in it? Did Mafs have a contract that in order for Jayden to be on the show, they needed to speak about Mitch? Make it make sense? Is it because at the moment it's not? I don't know. We'll see. So I have a question. This is my second season watching Married at First Sight Australia. I understand the marriages are not legal, unlike the US version where they are legally binding. Is this why people choose to stay married then, or choose to stay together? Because they know that if it doesn't work out, they don't stand to lose anything. Because the success rate and seeing how toxic these couples were is shocking. For them to have, you know, 4 successful couples. I root for love, don't get me wrong. I root for love always. I want people to find their one. And so I don't quite get it, because some of the couples I think should have walked away. Anyway, the final couple is Tim and Sarah. Tim and Sarah are in a good place. Well, she's happy because she thinks she's found her person. She's at peace. You know, they've managed to mend bridges. She's managed to make amends for everything she did that might have upset him. Tim is still struggling because he doesn't know whether to say yes or no. So he meets up with his friend, and his friend is right to ask him the questions that needed to be asked. That, are you sure that this is it for you? Are you sure it's going to work? Are you sure you're going to be able to trust her? And so for him, I thought he was going to say no. I really thought he was going to say no, and was surprised when he didn't, because even his vows gave the impression that he was going to say no, because he took us on a roller coaster of their relationship, of the downs and the highs and everything in between. And so if I were telling someone else about my relationship and telling them that in 11 weeks this is what I've gone through, I would expect them to say keep it moving. I would expect them to say keep it moving. Nothing is worth putting yourself through that pain again, even if things seem bright and shiny at the moment. You have Sarah. Sarah is happy. Her vows, you know, she did speak about the fact that, you know, she did make a mistake, but she later realized that, you know, Tim was the guy that she needed because the experts gave her the right person for her. I think if nothing else, if this relationship doesn't succeed, what it's helped Sarah do is get over her ex, and she herself acknowledged that. It's helped her get over her ex and move on and start afresh with somebody else. I hope, if nothing else, she's seen qualities in Tim that she would want in a future partner, because I don't think that relationship will last. I don't think it will last. I think it will just take Sarah doing something minute that will cause Tim lack of trust to come back again. So I don't think it will last. I am just going to sit here and watch and see what happens with the two of them. You have Sarah choose to stay in the relationship. Am I surprised? No. She wants a redemption story, so she's not going to be the villain. She's not going to break up with him. She's going to leave him to break up with her if he chooses to do so. Tim, on his part, after all the roller coaster, he said, you know, he's happy with where they are and he chooses to stay with her. Do I think he should have stayed? No. Because once you lose trust in someone, it's very, very difficult, especially in a romantic sense. If it's a family member, maybe, but if it's in a romantic sense, it's very difficult to win the love back. So the idea that they would sort of move on from this cheating scandal and be able to make it work long term, I don't know. I think it's a day-by-day moment. And it seems Jono is going to create havoc for them at the dinner party, and things are going to go left. So I don't know how that will play out, and I can't wait for that. I'm surprised. I'm pleasantly surprised. I think the only people that I expected to say yes were Eden and Jayden and Jade and Ridge. I think the other couples should have said no. That's just my opinion. I think the other couple should have said no. There's nothing there to tell me why the Tori and Jack or even Sarah and Tim said yes. I don't know. Apart from the fact that one couple wanted to spite the other participants who criticized them, and the other couple, it was a redemption story and they were just continuing on that, and no one between the two of them wanted to be the bad guy to pull the plug on that relationship. And I think this is why Sarah and Tim have stayed together. That's just the impression that I get. I can't wait for Sunday. Because apparently John is going to pitch up with Ellie, and it's like, okay, it is what it is. We'll see how long that lasts. Anyway, thanks guys for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe, and click the link in my video to watch my review from episode 35. Bye guys.